Oh, there it is.
Welcome to
That's a nice
Azshara,
plushie,
named
though.
after the Night Elf Queen who did the thing. You'd think this zone would present endgame challenges worthy of its namesake, but actually, it's pretty fucking dead. But that's because Azshara was never intended as a questing zone to begin with. It was meant to be Dota. Don't believe me?
It's actually sad how much they messed up Azshara. It was supposed to be this big epic battleground, you know, the Battle of Azshara. Man, that would be, oh my god, it hurts my classic WoW gamer's soul to know what Azshara could have been and what it didn't become, right? It's such a bad zone. It literally has 4 quests and a world boss. That's it. Alright, like that's literally it. At least it has a world boss, you know, that's kind of cool, I guess. But yeah.
I'm about to blow your mind. Originally,
It's like one of the most important lore zones. I know, it's a really important zone for lore, but in the game, the zone is just so bad. It's so bad.
designed as an instance battleground. Azshara had 3 lanes, 2 large jungles, and a river running down the middle. Does this sound familiar? It's implied that the 2 teams would advance on each other until,
You know, the Battle of Azshara. Man, that would be, oh my god, it hurts my classic WoW gamer's soul to know what Azshara could have been and what it didn't become. Right? It's such a bad zone. It literally has 4 quests and a world boss. That's it. Alright, like that's literally it. At least it has a world boss, you know, that's kind of cool, I guess. But yeah.
I'm about to blow your mind. Originally,
It's like one of the most important lore zones. I know, it's a really important zone for lore, but in the game, the zone is just so bad. It's so bad.
Designed as an instance battleground. Azshara had 3 lanes, 2 large jungles, and a river running down the middle. Does this sound familiar? It's implied that the 2 teams would advance on each other until one base fell. But it must have been really fucking boring because it was scrapped super close to release, and now Azshara exists like this. Now, I don't blame Blizzard for scrapping their Dota battleground. They never did quite figure out that 3-lane gameplay. But I do blame them for doing nothing with the zone in 12 years. Remember the big cannon? I don't think Blizzard does. Anyway, we're here to talk to this big dragon. This is Blizzard does. Anyway, we're here to talk to this big dragon. This is Azshara. Hi, I'm Azshara. You might remember him from closing the gates 1,000 years ago. But what you might not know about Azshara is that he is the blue dragonflight. Oh wait, hold on. He is the blue dragonflight's trinket keeper, which basically means he's every blue dragon's bankroll. And he fucking hates it. He despises the fact that whilst every other blue drake is off in the Nexus banging mana straight from the source, having the sickest parties of all time, he's stuck in fucking Azshara.
That was a cool boss fight, by the way. That might be a hot take, boys. Malagos, great raid. I liked it a lot.
Zone, no bitches guarding other people's stuff from dickheads like me. Hell. 1,000 years ago, Anachronos gave the blue scepter gem to the blue dragonflight to keep safe forever. Okay. So what that actually meant was Azshara was given the blue scepter gem to keep safe forever. And just like any dragon who is guarding a one-of-a-kind gem, Azshara would be targeted by more treasure hunters than ever before. And Azshara was pissed. 500 years later. I don't need a wife.
Oh.
My job fucks me. At this point, Azshara had lost count of the amount of attempts made on his life because of this damn gem. And just like with literally any Blizzard character, if you give them enough time, he became unhinged. And then he fed the blue scepter gem to a fish. Present day. I cannot take 5 steps.
Is that where you go kill the big shark?
Orc or human trying to thrust a sharp stick into my hide. Looks like life didn't get any better for Azshara after all. That'll have to wait until Cataclysm, when he enters into a romantic relationship with a spirit healer. Real, actual lore, by the way. So now we know the fate of the blue...
Dude, Azshara is down bad, guys. Dude, result... That's how it goes, I guess, you know? We've all been there, done
gem,
that, you know?
One of the trillion fish in the sea, ate it. Also, because he's currently in his wacky, unhinged, edgy, it's not a phase, Azshara enchanted that same fish with arcane properties for the lulz in the hope it would become a giant sea monster who terrorizes fishermen. However, he does throw us a bone and tells us that if we make a Baba Booey out of arcanite, the arcane properties of that metal should attract the fish, which is probably not a fish anymore, but some kind of sea terror. Azshara gives us a ledger to take to a contact of his Tanaris, whom he describes as a terrible, terrible psychic, but an amazing engineer. With any luck, perhaps this guy can help us out. And if not, well, that sucks because Azhagos is done talking to us.
I said good day, sir!
I fucking hate these dragons. Well, time to head to Tanaris and find this engineer. Or rather, time to wait for my summon crew to summon me right there, huh?
Gaming.
Ooh, that's where you gotta go all the way south. You guys know that island south of Tanaris? Yeah.
Handing over the blueprints to the engineer, quest complete, we ask him if he can make the Arcanite Baba Booey, to which he responds, "Can't even read this shit, bro, it's in Draconic." Another funny little prank from our friend Azhagos, who, by the way, according to the quest dialogue, knows the engineer can't read Draconic, which means he did this shit on purpose. I am laughing, lord. I'm gonna kill Azhagos. Even though he can't read Draconic, the engineer says he's willing to give it a shot anyway. He'll just need a couple of items beforehand. The first item he needs is a Draconic translation guide, which is a completely reasonable ask. The second thing he needs are his reading goggles that his ex-BFF stole from him. Sure, whatever, he needs them to read. And the third thing he needs is a 500-pound chicken. Okay, this fucking guy. According to his pondering orb, his ex-BFF is either hiding just outside of
He's into meal prep, guys, okay? There's lots of meal prep to do as a little gnome, okay? Has a big fridge, you know?
As fapping to furries, or somewhere in Outland being pursued by the Burning Legion. Luckily for me, we don't need to wait until TVC to find him, quest complete, but we will need to wait to find those goggles because he dropped them in Molten Core. It is at this point I realize had I not left that Peace Bloom DKP earlier on in the week, I would
that's that random drop.
Have been locked to Molten Core and unable to even attempt this part of the quest. So thank you, Dawnbreakers, for hosting a scam DKP and being so unnecessarily hostile when questioned about it. Without you, none of this is possible. But we're gonna need to put a pin in that because I'm leaving this raid group and joining Thor's. Why? Because it's almost 7 p.m., which means the Winter Court are raiding Blackwing Lair.
Easy. The red shard quest changed.
Among the 3 shards, the red shard is by far the easiest to obtain, as it was given to Nefarian, and I literally kick the shit out of this guy every week. But as I mentioned last episode, the overwhelming majority of my guild are already locked to every raid after helping secure 10 Scarab Lords. If I wanted to attempt the segments of the questline that take place within raids, I would have to, and this is literally my guild's catchphrase, figure it out! 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 Figure it out!
Yo, figure it out!
Figure it out! And so I figured it out. In fact, I figured it out ahead of time, because I'm always steps ahead. Yesterday, when I was still farming bugs, I was also reaching out to pretty much every guild in GDKP on.
Hey, yeah, I'm trying to squeeze into a Blackwing Lair this lockout. I'm pretty sure you guys raid tomorrow, right? Do you guys think you're able to fit me in at all? You can feel the desperation in this DM, man.
On the server who I knew was raiding tomorrow to see if anyone could fit me into a Blackwing Lair run. I received only 2 responses back and thus was given a choice. Not between 2 guilds per se, but between 2 different risks. You see, the red shard only drops from Nefarian if you beat Blackwing Lair within 5 hours of starting the second encounter. If you fail, you actually get a bad ending letter sent to your mailbox from Nefarian himself where he basically just flames you for being too slow. It's pretty funny and completely deserved, to be honest. But therein lay the first guild's risk, a self-proclaimed casual guild that doesn't require...
Lol, get good, man. The Ferret is actually shitposting, man. He's sitting on 4chan on Reddit, like, shitposting all day, dude. There's nothing to do on that, like, big castle he lives in, man. So he just sits there and shitposts people who can't kill him.
Wild buffs or even consumes to raid. As someone who is used to sweaty, pathetically optimized, no fun allowed, clear comms, sub 1 hour speedruns, I was no doubt hesitant to accept that offer. And then there was the second guild, a self-proclaimed hardcore guild who had the rep and logs to back it up. Clearing in time wasn't up for debate, so why did I hesitate to say yes? Well, I made a lot of enemies during my time in the desert, and how strange, they are now inviting me to BWL? Now what would I do if I was them? Invite me for my first boss kill, then kick me once I was saved to the raid, thereby failing my quest, locking me out of BWL for the week and ruining Scarab Lord for me? I mean,
they could actually do that. They could straight up just cuck Barney completely.
It's objectively funny, and they might have gotten away with it too if I wasn't steps ahead. But if it's one thing I can just never say no to, it's the chaos of a cursed casual run.
Oh no. I've done way too many of those in my life. I've done way too. If you guys have what you know, if you know, you know. I have done so many scuffed raids in my time as being a classic WoW content creator, man. I've done like a 5-hour Blackwing Lair. I've done a 10-hour AQ40. I have done some rough raids, man. Oh my god! But we always persevere, guys. You know.
Welcome to Blackwing Labs.
Speedrun edition! Right away, this was already the most unique run of BWL I had ever been to. Instead of being Warlock summoned inside a wall like a sweaty geek and zoning in for free, we had actually met up in-game as a raid group, like socially, and cinematically approached BRM from the rear. This was especially fun for
This is the way you're supposed to do it, man. Get the entire raid, make a countdown to fly to burning steppies, and then run in together. You know, that's how we did it back in the day, man. That's how it was on private servers. Yeah, that's how it was done on private servers before this whole summon meta became a thing.
Because I'm a rogue, and we like it from behind.
What?
Oh, do it from behind? So this is the first boss, Razorgore the Untamed, which I'm guessing is an ironic name because we'll be using this Orb of Domination to force him to murder his own children. That's pretty fucked up, but completely necessary. Because his mortality is tied to the eggs. If we were to just Zerg Razorgore and kill him, the eggs would explode upon his death, dealing massive damage and killing everyone. So you kill ads, kill the eggs, and then you kill the boss. Are you picking up what I'm putting down, bitch? But guys, I won't lie, this raid is really scaring me. They're cracking jokes on the mic, and they're not clearing comms. And worst of all, I think they're having, it sounds like they're having fun? No one follow me. No one follow me.
That is cringe. Imagine having fun, man. You're supposed to min-max everything.
Get away from that door.
That's
Next
disgusting.
up, I and I alone have to enter the second room and speak with Veilstrass to start the Red Shard quest.
Oh.
The 5-hour timer starts now. A wise man once said the purest essence of WoW's gameplay is standing and hitting. If that is to be true, then Veilstrass is the most World of Warcraft fight World of Warcraft has to offer. Because, wow, I'm doing a lot of standing, and with a buff that doubles your damage, you're gonna do a lot of hitting too. What's especially great about Veilstrass is that the double damage buff carries over to the next couple of trash mobs if you're fast.
Dude, this boss is fun. If you're a melee spurg and you like doing damage, Veilstrass is fun, because all you do is stand still and pump, man.
Enough, making the journey to the suppression room that bit faster. And believe me, you'll be thankful for it because this is the part where the raid slows to a grinding halt. Welcome to the suppression room. Designed by Satan in Hell, this room features numerous traps which slow you by 90%. These traps can only be disarmed by rogues. The time you disarm them for is random with no tell. And
the suppression room is actually kind of chill if you're a rogue, because you just like run around and do the traps. That's it, man. Just do the traps all day, you know, just chill. Let the raid do the hard stuff and you just disarm traps. So cozy.
Things constantly spawn around each trap. And that's just the stage hazard. Because yes, whilst you have to manage those traps, there are also trash mobs you have to clear on the way through. But I don't get to do damage because I gotta ferry the raid through. It is a tedious, completely unfun shitshow of a section that spoils the pacing in what is an otherwise A-tier raid, in my opinion. The next boss brood...
Suppression room sucks if you wipe, but if you get through it smooth, it's nice. You know?
Lord Lashleyer is a completely brain-off tank and spank. You just stand and hit. It's classic WoW. If you die to this boss, you're a complete fucking noob.
Oh.
You just stand and hit. It's classic WoW. If you die to this boss, you're a complete fucking noob.
Nobody died, so it was good.
Easy.
Yeah, and nobody died.
Yep.
All DPS is going to be on Skull and X, except for one mage, and the mage will tank the techs, because we don't use sappers in this guild, because we're incredibly casual.
Oh.
I think I might throw up. After pulling 4 packs of techies, with no sappers, we were ready to engage the hardest boss of the raid, Firemaw. Implying classic is hard. Firemaw, by all definitions, is objectively a well-designed fight, fulfilling literally every class fantasy in one encounter. The tanks get to be slapped around and boiled alive for the duration of the fight. Melee get to risk their lives trying to pass, gambling on stack resist so as to avoid downtime moving out, and range get...
This is fun though. I remember I made a fire resist set on my rogue, so I could like just be above the cap, so I could stay in for the entire fight, and henceforth increasing my DPS a lot.
To stand back and safely press their one button. And it sounds so easy, right?
Bunch of stacks, guys. Bunch of your 6.
Try to put him on tink, careful.
Oh, I'm down.
You would be mistaken. Also, because this is Horde gameplay, you really gotta watch that threat.
When do I...
That's not good.
Not wearing a cape. Yeah, it's not so good, dude.
First time I've ever seen that.
It's the first time I've ever wiped. Yeah.
I blame Barney on
You don't want to be too high above it, most of the shit.
So anyway, we've got 5 hours, and, you know, it's gonna be fine.
We got 5 hours.
We're not gonna make it. Okay, Reza.
I do wonder how long your average Blackburn Lair clear would take back in the day, like back in 2006. You know? I mean, maybe I don't know, man. Maybe 5 hours is like fast. You know?
Thrust off, cape on, bait on, cap on. This doesn't usually hap on. Let's try this again. And on this pull,
2
the
days,
Winter Court
probably.
lived up to them.
It's probably something you would do over like 2 lockouts, right? Like you would maybe go up and kill Firemaw, and then you would save Ebon Rock, Flame Gore, and Chromagus and Neferin for the next raid day.
Name because this pull
Was fucking frosty. Look, Mum, I'm pumping.
We then pull the rest of the techies with no sappers, and I go over to this.
This is the worst part about Black Lair. I hate the Sapper packs. It's literally unfun. I don't mind Suppression Room. These packs, they suck. I do not like them.
Table to pick up this book, which is actually chapter 7 of Draconic for Dummies. I'll need to collect chapters 1 through 8 in order to make a complete book for the engineer, which I'm now realizing in the moment. Hold on, I don't even know that in character yet. Hold on, I haven't even picked up the quest that allows me to loot chapters. Give me 1 sec. Can I get a port to Thunderblock, please? It is at this point I turn Questy on and reload my UI. When I load back in, I am dead. So I figure, fuck it, Death Warp. It is a speedrun after all.
We'll take a short break while Barnaby
okay.
gets back on the quest. We won't pull
Okay.
the boss. Shouldn't take that long. The part that
Guys, we're not gonna make it. My summon team then summons me to a remote island off the southern
That's
coast
the
of
island.
Sonaris, where the engineer supposedly buried a copy of Draconic for Dummies some years ago. When we dig up the book, quest complete, it actually turns out to be a ransom note addressed to the engineer. I figure the fastest way back to the engineer is to unstuck to the Gadget Sand graveyard and then walk north. Instead, Blizzard's patented go fuck yourself unstuck technology actually teleports me to Kargath. And my summon team have already hearthed to Silithus, so I get a...
It's because the cooldown was the Hearthstone wasn't on cooldown. Yeah, it's like a prioritization system with the Hearthstone with the Unstuck. If you don't have if your Hearthstone is up, it Hearthstones for you. If your Hearthstone is not up, then it kills you. And if you're dead and you unstuck, I think it teleports you to the graveyard. That's how it works. But I think they removed the feature since. But I don't know.
They summon to Silithus, fly to Tanaan, hand over the ransom note, quest complete, and then pick up the next quest. And this is where I realize in the footage, actually, I didn't even need to go on this tangent at all. And it will make sense why later. This has just been a certified idiot moment. But in fairness to me, I had not slept in like 20-something hours. If I got a little latency in the brain, you know why. Also, I literally traveled through time.
We now return to Blackwing Lair.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm back in the raid. Summon me because I'm bougie, though. Ooh, and the trash has been cleared in my absence? All according to plan. Now, if I was to tell you that the next 2 encounters, Ebon Rock and Flame Gore, involve a lot of standing and a lot of hitting, would you forgive me for jumping Oh, that's too far. Man, partial wipe to trash? That's harder than the bosses? World of Warcraft, baby.
How much longer do we have, Barnaby?
We got, like, an hour, like 2 hours, so we're fine?
Wait, it took them 3 hours to get to Chromagus? Oh my gosh.
I mean, we're not gonna make it. The next
Oh my
boss,
gosh.
Chromagus, is basically another one of those run-in, run-out fights. The only difference with this one is that there are random debuffs that will infect random players at random intervals. 4 of the 5 of these debuffs are completely negligible,
boss fight.
though, and don't really require a
I like
second thought since they'll just be purged off you. But if you are unlucky enough to receive the 5th debuff, the Bronze
true.
Affliction, you will periodically be frozen into
I have a fucking hangnail. Dude, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna keep watching.
time. There is only one known cure, and it is eating magic sand. But I'm trying to kick the stuff, you know, so I'm okay to sit through the 10-minute deal. Oh, why would you... I mean, one little bite can't hurt, right? I mean... I gotta stop eating sand. And now for what we all came to see, the Nefarian fight. Will this self-proclaimed casual guild see me through to a red shard, or will this be where my Scarab Lord tale ends? Well, the main healer of the raid did just find out that if...
I have a hangnail. Dude, I'm fucking bleeding. Dude, I ripped my skin. Oh god, okay, let's keep watching.
you right-click Benediction, it turns into Anathema.
On me for it.
Something weird to my
God.
benediction.
So I'd say we're off to a good start.
So right-click it again in your inventory.
This is incredible.
No, it's on
Only-
a half-hour cooldown.
Only tonight.
Guys, we're not gonna make it!
And
So,
with that said, Barnaby, this is your thing, so why don't you go talk to your...
Oh, okay. Of course, no final boss of any raid would be complete without the arbitrary
I like the
minutes of
music.
killing ads before the main guy even shows up, but this phase is
so
incredibly
good.
simple and is definitely not cause to freak out. So I have no idea why the people in Discord were freaking out so much. In fact, they were freaking out so much I heard my first
Clear
thought
comms.
of the entire raid. When the casual guild says clear comms, that's when you know things are bad. For those that
mean
don't know
business.
this fight, once you kill 40 ads, Nefarian descends upon the raid and covers the entire floor in fire. And if you're not wearing your Onyxia cloak, the fire will kill you in one shot. So tell me why the 5
Unless you go behind the throne where you don't get hit by it. Yep.
minutes we spent doing loot prior to pulling the boss was not enough
As someone who never, very often forgot his cloak, I am very familiar with the throne strat. Okay, so yeah.
time for over half the raid to equip their Onyxia cloaks. We're not gonna make it.
No, a lot of people don't have cloaks on. I do that as well.
We were not ready.
Now, you can stand behind the throne when the fire goes out, and this will avoid being hit, but it's generally considered rat behavior because you lose a bunch of uptime. Thankfully, though, we managed to get through the fire and the
Okay,
flames
dude.
with 0 casualties. Nefarian now lands, someone rips aggro, and I die for their fucking sins.
Somebody pop Rick and pull him over. Who's doing it? I'm gonna reincarnate and I'm gonna start rezzing.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta wait 15 minutes now. Every single time you wipe, you wait 15 minutes, because Nefarian won't come back. Nefarian is such a sussy baka. Sitting there on his throne, like, you know, sitting on Reddit, like, typing out, like, weird messages to the people, and then he, like, whenever you wipe to him, he doesn't want to come back before 15 minutes, you know? It's so obnoxious.
Might not. What started off as a sarcastic little joke was now beginning to sound like my actual fate. Every time you wipe to Nefarian, you have to wait around 15 minutes for him to
Yep.
respawn, and as you know, I'm kind of on the clock here, so...
Dude, if we don't make it, I will get Barney B tattooed on my knuckles.
Well, now the stakes have never been higher, or there's never been a better time to throw this shit. Depending on who you're asking, of course. Me, personally,
Dude,
I
what?
kind of want the mount, but in any other timeline, he was getting those knuckle tattoos. Okay, time's up. Let's do this. Barney Beekeeper. Please put your cloaks on. Please put your... So we start the second pull. This time, everyone in the raid is prepared with their Oni cloaks, and we breeze through phase 1. The tank is also generously given the 2 seconds required to take aggro of the boss, so things are actually looking good. Now let's talk about Nefarian's main mechanic. Every so often, Nefarian will target a specific class and do what's called a class call. This is essentially some kind of debuff or Joker's trick targeted at one specific class. And depending on your class, these can range from being the most minor inconvenience conceivable to being capable of causing the breakdown of the entire raid and a potential wipe. In the case of rogues, you get teleported in front of Nefarian and cannot
Yeah.
move. If the tank doesn't react fast enough,
I
this
hate
happens.
this.
And you want to know
I
the best
hate
part about
this.
this? There's literally 0 counterplay on my part.
Yep.
I can't do anything about this. I love when mechanics don't test the individual player ability and instead put your hands in the life of some other fucking schmuck. I'm actually not mad. I mean, okay.
You can't vanish it, you can't sprint it, there's nothing you can do. You just sit there and wait for the tank to move the boss.
Half the raid is dead, but this could absolutely be a kill. We just have to play perfect and get really lucky on the next couple of class calls. It could happen.
Rage call. Ice block.
We're gonna make it.
Keep him up. New class call coming. If it's warrior, we're gonna be fucked. So,
Uh-oh. Now, you guys want to know what's worse than one warrior call? Oh, I'll get to that in just a second. Because first, I gotta tell you that if we get this boss to 20...
Warrior call forces all the warriors in Circle stands, so the tank will be forced to be in Circle.
all the ads that we killed in phase 1, all 40 of them, respawn at the same time and charge the raid. So now let me return to my original question. What's worse than one warrior call? That's right, 2 warrior calls, with the second one happening during the final ad phase. And now I think I'm just gonna let this clip play out because it is so difficult to make raiding sound interesting.
One to the
there
side.
it is, right there.
Got him.
Orgo, do you have shield wall?
Perfect.
No way they wipe now, right?
Okay.
Alright, Barney, there you go, bud.
Good.
Jesus.
We got it.
Easy clap.
Yeah, we had.
Nope.
Don't worry,
Look,
Barney.
Only the Nefarian kill.
They didn't drop it, Barney.
That's almost impressive.
What? Remember how earlier I left the raid and joined another party to get summoned to Tenaris? Well, actually that did nothing. I just love faking you guys out. It's just so easy every time. And you're thinking, I can't keep getting away with it. Oh, I will. You're already in my web and you don't even know it yet. Wow,
Okay.
red shard acquired.
Okay,
Ready?
dude.
3,
That's
2,
messed up.
1.
That's actually messed up, man. Whatever. 14 out of 32.
So now we're back on the Engineer's questline. If you'll remember, we are currently looking for the 3 items he needs to try and make the Arcanite Baba Booey. But as we found out earlier, his copy of Draconic for Dummies has been stolen, and a ransom note was left in its place.
We got your book, gnome. If you ever want to see it again, you'll do exactly as we asked.
So, alongside Bon Hoovy, Sarsis, Merrills, and Darian, we head to the location detailed within the ransom note, and, disguised as the Engineer, I place a big bag of fake gold at the edge of a cliff. A few anxiety-riddled minutes later, one Dr. Weevil comes flying in on a flying machine. But for real, why did they make it take 5 minutes for this guy to spawn in? The whole time
This question is so badass. It's so cool.
we were waiting, I thought I fucked the quest up. I swear, every single quest in this questline is specifically tailored to fuck with your mental. Anyway, the Doctor takes one look at our disguise and sees right through it. Who could have seen this coming? He then summons a giant gorilla to kill us and escapes in his flying machine. I pop adrenaline rush and evasion.
There's nothing more dangerous in this world, guys, than a silverback gorilla. That is a factual fact.
And start rogue tanking number 2. I figure with a healer, I can probably tank this for the duration of my evasion, and then banish the threat off to the warrior. Unfortunately for me, Blizzard's patented, it really emulates early 2000s internet. Spell batching technology meant that I actually didn't cast Vanish at all. I lay dead in the snow like the pathetic little gnome bitch I am as my team once again carries me to victory. If you'll remember, Merrills was the mage who helped me get my Mallet of Zul'Farrak all those months ago. And here I am yet again with my content beholden to his kindness. I truly couldn't do this without my friends. However, because Bon Hoovy is a druid, he is useless and isn't carrying resurrection materials. He is instead going to leave it up to chance with cables, as will Merrills and Darian. Well, I think we know how this one goes. Yup, but I can't be that unlucky, right?
Oof.
Right. Don't do me like this, please. Thank God. I'm up!
3 times
Merrills
the
then
charm.
opens a portal to Thunderbluff for me, and I fly to the Engineer in Tanaris to tell him that the plan failed. And also, because we didn't keep to our end of the ransom, Dr. Weevil has obliterated the Draconic for Dummies book. Quest complete. So now our only option is to track down the last known surviving copy of Draconic for Dummies, which, because it's the Scarab Lord questline, has actually had all 8 of its pages torn out and scattered to the wind. Once I find all 8 chapters, I can use this bookbinding to refashion the book. This questline's never gonna end, is it? One quick stop off in Gadget Sand to meet with this chef. Quest complete. And to discuss the possibility of acquiring a fat chicken. He tells me no such chicken exists, but does clue us in on one Lord Lakmiran, a chimera who, with proper preparation,
It's in feral ass. Yeah.
may or may not look like a 500-pound chicken. And whilst I'm here in Tanaris, I figure I may as well hand in the red shard to our good friend Anachronos, who once again rewards us with a completely useless piece of jewelry. Quest complete. Chapter 7 acquired. Oh! Welcome to Alkaz Island. With the Blackwing Lair chapter safely obtained, I was summoned to Alkaz Island to murder Dr. Weevil in cold blood. After all, he's the reason this quest has become so long. I mean, because he has chapter 1 for some reason. 2 birds, 1 stone, if you ask me. However, Dr. Weevil is absolutely not a pushover. Even with a raid group of 20, he is still incredibly challenging due to his menacing mechanics and large health bar. Every 6 or so seconds, Dr. Weevil stuns everyone in line of sight of him, and every 20 or so seconds, he mind controls a random ally who will now be out of commission for the remainder of the encounter. Now, I could sit here and splice old footage to craft some underdog narrative about how this boss was difficult to overcome, but rest assured, this will be the 11th time we have destroyed Dr. Weevil, and we have become exceedingly efficient at it. Chapter 1 acquired. Also, lore tidbit, this is the island where Varian Rin was kept, in prison, and then this quest is the only thing they did with this location in the game.
It's such a cool island, man. I remember as a kid, I swam out to this island, and there's these big hydras, and I died. That's it. That's the story.
Heard Ram Ranch, right?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, Ram Ranch!
One fully clothed rogue in the marsh at Sunken Temple. Big, long quest. No, I'm not doing this bit. Now, you might be wondering, why am I in a level 40 dungeon? Well, you see, the green shard was given to a green dragon named Aranicus, and this is where Aranicus lives. But wait, isn't this place like super evil? Well, yes. It's no secret that Aranicus and his crew were driven insane by the very same old god they thought they had vanquished deep within the temple. But he has the green shard, so I'm not really left any choice. But as I enter Aranicus's chamber, I'm not met with a large green dragon, but rather a Shade and Malfurion Stormrage. Malfurion informs me that Aranicus can't be here right now because he's busy terrorizing the Emerald Dream. And if we want to get that green shard, we'll have to summon Aranicus from the Emerald Dream and purge him of his corruption. Now, do you want to see some fucking sweaty, disgusting, I can't believe you even bothered to think this far ahead gameplay? Check out these summons. Bam! Random Teldrassil location to hand in this quest to the Wisp. Quest complete. But wait, I'm not done. Follow-up summon to the Shrine of Remulus in Moonglade to hand that very same quest in immediately. Quest complete. Any % world record, by the way. I know it might not look like much to you guys because, I mean, you're watching the video, right? It's all cut up and edited for you. But every time you see me get summoned, these are pre-planned summon teams that real people have had to level up and put their character in that position just so I can save 10 to 20 minutes here and there. Fucking gamers. Fucking game.
Okay.
So spread around Azeroth are these 4 Emerald Dream portals, outside of which roam packs of elite green dragonkin, except for the Duskwood one, but just forget about that one for now. To summon Aranicus back into our realm, we are going to need to obtain a Nightmare Fragment from each area. Actually, cut the music. Fuck the script. I need a
That's where you kill the satyrs, right?
I need a real talk. These Nightmare Fragments drop from the elite mobs that you can find outside the portals, right?
Yeah.
And you think, cool, just go kill some elites. That's me laughing. And this is where I make the music creep back in, okay? Got him. Gabe. No, of course it's not that easy. This is the Scarab Lord questline where every quest is specifically tailored to make you want to exit game. So here's the thing with this quest, right? We still to this day do not know the drop chance of the Nightmare Fragments. Me personally, I want to say it's 1%. Based on my experience, I think it's 1%. Now, killing elites for a 1% drop is already fucking Gabe. But the thing with these packs are, they actually require a small raid because they slap. Alliance players might not know this, but on the Horde side, people kite these mobs from Ashenvale to Orgrimmar to just kill everyone in the city. But wait, I'm still not done. The other thing with these mobs is that if you kill all the packs and you don't get the drop, you have to wait like an hour for the respawns. There are people in my guild that...
Every Horde player has at some point ran into Orgrimmar and then see like a bunch of green dragons just AoE killing everybody with entangling roots. It's happened. Yeah, it's happened a lot.
Spent literally days on just this part of the quest alone.
Or Omen,
It's
yeah,
not
the
looking
big
good.
dog
So
with the
this
3
is
heads.
me,
Exactly.
And I'm in the Undercity picking up Draconic for Dummies, Chapter 4.
Wait, he just has it in the book dealer? And
Thanks for watching. Chapter 4 acquired. Welcome to the Hinterlands. I grabbed literally anyone who was online and willing to help and figured we may as well start here. And I think I'm gonna let this clip of our first pull just play out. It's a clip where you're like, you say something like, I fucking hate this game. By the way, first mob, first fucking fragment, let's go!
oh, they got it.
Well, that was lucky, or a terrible omen. There's something with me getting really, really lucky and then immediately getting really, really unlucky. Oh boy, I sure hope that doesn't happen here. And even though we don't have summons to Foralis, I can just edit the video like, wow, it's like I got summoned. Now, I wish I could tell you that I was lucky enough to get the drop on my first pull again,
how it
but
happens,
it is
man.
with a shit-eating grin that I can tell you it only took 20 minutes for me to drop my second fragment.
Oh, fuck off.
We're out of here. We're going to Ashendale.
Yeah.
Easy.
And now I'm actually not smiling anymore because this is for sure just a terrible omen. Also, I forgot to mention the reason I did the portals in this order was because currently right now in Ashenvale, there's an Alliance person on this questline too. I had initially wanted to be diplomatic about the situation, but with only 24 hours left.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. You're gaming. But oh, dude, drive them out. Filthy Alliance players. Ah, yes. Dude, this game, I can't speak English.
Jeez, they could at least make it hard, like, at least make it fun.
Your Alliance?
The Alliance had, as is customary around these parts, failed to put up
Not at
any
the
meaningful
time.
resistance. We took the leader of their group hostage and told those motherfuckers Ashenvale's closed.
I really like the music choices that Barney uses.
And
It's really
you guys
good.
Really just took the fucking L, huh? Still in corpse.
Lule.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, dude.
It's been 45 minutes. As the Alliance lay molding in their corpses for, yes, like 45 minutes, we took it upon ourselves to hit every single pack on respawn. But in fairness to the Alliance, they weren't the only ones molding.
Fucking please dispel the root. Please fucking dispel the root.
That's the AoE root.
I need to tag it. Don't kill the thing.
I can't pause the video, comrade. You're gonna have to hold it in. I'll get the P bottle.
I'm rooted again. I need one dispel. I've been rooted for 40 seconds. Thank you.
Listen, I hadn't slept in a very long time,
Very
so
tilted,
if I
yeah.
sound like a raid leader, my apologies. The good news is, even with my lack of sleep, I was able to get clips like this.
The guy in the back. Let's get this guy. Gonna distract.
You're clicking your distract, man.
Never.
That was a big distract.
You're
And it is with a
clicking your
huge
distract,
ego, I
man.
get to tell you that the Alliance all left after that. But
Distract is a very important ability as a rogue in PvP. You can do so many, like, naughty things with that ability, man. Oh.
someone else showed up. The same Frywood who had just last week griefed me relentlessly, Frywood? The same Frywood who had to be camped into submission, Frywood? Frywood Redemption Arc, Frywood? I was skeptical, but at 2 AM server time, I will take anyone I can get. This is where Frywood whips out. He probably assumed that we are about to go raiding, and because I still do actually need to kill Onyxia and Ragnaros on this questline, it's the perfect plan. They think we're meeting up here to get a buff and then fly to Molten Core, but actually we're just gonna walk into Duskwood. I'm a genius. See?
This is where you find out if Shaman love you or not.
Yeah, they only had 10 minutes to buff everyone with the same shit.
What? What just happened? The Premier got bugged. Oh, 6 minutes is missing? Yeah, it completely jumped to like a different spot. You two cut up 6 minutes. Oh! Oh, it cut it out. Okay. I mean, okay, I don't know what happened then. So I assume that he got the rest of the fragments, and then bing bong bang in the chat. Reloaded. I think it's fixed. Okay, I can try to reload. Okay, let me try to reload the video. Maybe this can work. Nightmare fragments. We watched that.
The Hand of Fate would continue to that. But someone else showed up.
Oh, yeah, right here.
Frywood. The same Frywood who had just last week griefed me relentlessly,
Yeah,
Frywood?
fixed,
the same
there he is.
Frywood who had to be camped into submission, Frywood? Frywood Redemption Arc, Frywood? I was skeptical, but at 2 AM server time, I will take anyone I can get. This is where Frywood whips out his Ritual of Doom, which is basically
That's
the
what he
World of
whipped out.
Warcraft equivalent of Russian roulette.
I don't think I've ever seen this ability be used.
Actually,
Ever.
yeah, it's the Doom Guard thing, but
Why me? Why me?
well, somebody has to be sacrificed.
Alas, the Hand of Fate would continue to gesture towards me the middle finger as I found myself going dry on the Ashenvale fragment hour after hour,
I thought he
pack
whipped out his
after
cock.
pack.
Yeah, I'm also quite surprised Barney didn't make a not a cock video, a cock joke there. But you know, it is what it is.
Respawn after respawn. Worst of all, word spreads fast, and when you hear that the last remaining Scarab Lord is now 12 hours deep bottlenecked in Ashenvale, why, that's the perfect time for a 40-man
A
alliance
cock
raid
joke.
to pull
That's
up
what I
and
meant to
kill
say.
that
A cock joke. It's like a whip out, you know, whatever. You know what? Smile in the chat. Just smile.
last little bit of hope you have left. But they didn't know who they were griefing. My busy bees are everywhere. You think I wasn't gonna find out? Yeah, we got the fuck out of there just as the raid showed up. Nice try, bitch. Next time, don't pick the one person who's always numbers steps ahead. Welcome to Molten Core. So the plan was always that if we got griefed at Ashenvale, we would just make a beeline straight for Molten Core. Like, what are they gonna do, grief us in a raid? And that way I can try and get my goggles whilst the heat dies down. We have 12 hours left, by the way. Also, I just want to say something really quickly to the people that might be concerned about my health, like in real life. During the time in which we were in Ashenvale waiting for respawns, I would spend those like 45-minute intervals sleeping at my desk. I wouldn't recommend it. So the engine...
As somebody who was ranked to 14 in the Classic WoW original release, I can relate very much with that. Very much. You know what I would have? I would... So whenever like we were just farming BGs for honor and we no longer did world PvP, I would queue up for a BG. The BG queue would be 15 minutes. I would put a timer on my phone for 15 minutes, lay on the floor with a pillow and my blanket, have a 15-minute nap, and wake up to the sound of the BG popping, because I would sleep with my headset on. So I would get 15-minute naps.
Engineers XP.
That's literally what I did. I literally slept on the floor behind my PC so I could have my headset on, max volume, for the BG to be my alarm clock. That's what I would do. I am not kidding. That's what I did. Then, after 4 weeks of doing that, I realized I had a cordless headset.
I miss ranking streams.
And then I started lying in my bed instead, because I realized I had a headset without a cord, and I was like, oh, I'll just lie in my bed now. So that's what I did then. Would not recommend it.
BFF dropped the goggles somewhere in here, and what that means for us as players is the
I'm not
goggles
kidding, that's
drop
what I
from
did.
trash, and it's like a percent drop chance. Go fuck yourself. But everything will be okay because I have my lucky charm. No, not this thing. I mean this guy, Accidentals. Let me tell you a little story about Accidentals. So like 2 weeks ago, I'm doing this exact same trash farm for someone else's goggles, and we go like 3 full hours of just killing every single mob in Molten Core with no luck. I'm talking several resets of Molten Core, like no bosses, just trash. Like you don't even get to come. But as soon as we invite Axie, wow. And trust me when I tell you, I've got a good eye for like lucky things, right? That's like my whole bit. So we start pulling trash at noon, and 25 minutes later.
Nice.
By the way, I'm gonna say once again.
Say it.
Hey, this was my ID, Barney.
I know. Listen, I said you were gonna be my good luck, my little good luck charm. Now, could you bring that luck to Ashenvale, please? The goggles had been a piece of cake. Terrible omen. So it was back to hitting our heads against the brick wall that is Ashenvale. We had just spent 12 uninterrupted hours there, but going forward, I would need to move around the map as if I'm being pursued by a large raid, which, by the way, I am. Word on the street is that they are waiting right now outside of this very Molten Core in preparation for us to reset the trash. So they'll never see it coming if I get summoned to Ashenvale to kill all the packs that have in the meantime respawned. Still no fragment, by the way. And then fly to Winterspring. Why Winterspring, you ask? Because your bitch wanted to spring on this dick. Because I can kill demons in Winterspring to try and get Chapter 3 to drop. But the real reason I'm doing this is I want to bait the Alliance raid away from Ashenvale so that when respawns are back up, I can just get summoned in and take them. And once again, just as the Alliance were pulling up on my location,
this is so degen. Oh
this
my
game
god,
of
I
cat
love
and
it.
mouse had grown so fun for me that I wasn't even bothered by the fact we went another entire cycle with no drop. 9 hours remain, and here's where I execute my most dastardly bamboozle yet. I went straight back to Winterspring.
Chapter 3 acquired.
Nice! So I took a summon right back to Ashenvale, despite the fact that there were no spawns, just to fuck with the Alliance, really. But as soon as that first pack did respawn, we're gonna get square next. I got the fragment. Let's fucking go, guys! Let's do it! Sorry.
Wow, that hurt my ears.
I'm so sorry.
That's
I didn't mean to
fine.
scream. I'm so sorry. 8 hours remain. Ashenvale had stolen 15 hours from me, but no more. My green dragon farm had come to an end, and I was ready to get that fat chicken. With the Alliance closing in on our position, we did something no Horde player would ever do. Fucking Thunderbluff. Genius mix-up. This also let me take some meat out of the bank that I prepared earlier, like literally a year ago. I need 20 total for the quest, but I'll get 3 later. A few of us were then summoned to the Isle of Dread in Feralis to kill the unique Chimera elite Lord Lackmiran, and it is now later. See how efficient I am? I got the corpse of Lord Lackmiran and the rest of the meat that I needed in 1 kill. Are you not entertained? I've been planning this for years. Also, the Alliance raid saw that we were in Feralis and pulled up thinking we were at the Green Dragons. Like, no one's there. Hell. By the time they figured out what we were doing, it was already too late. We had half to Kargath and started making the journey south to the Tainted Scar. It is here that I would get Chapter 2 on the, and I know it seems like I've like scripted this, but I got Chapter 2 on the first pull.
Oh my god. That is so lucky, man. That is so lucky.
Next up, the Duskwood Nightmare Fragment. To conquer the challenge that lay before me, I would need to this time gather a full raid because unlike the other
Satyr you gotta kill, I think.
Nightmare Fragments, this last fragment is dropped by a unique boss that can only be summoned by this quest. However, I can't just be standing around in Duskwood giving away our position, summoning people as we invite them, because this boss we're about to fight is incredibly griefable. Much like a world boss, if you die to the Twilight Corruptor, he grows in size and strength, and because this boss actually hits...
He gets bigger and bigger, dude. The more people that dies, yeah.
hard, one death is all it can take for the encounter to quickly spiral out of control. If the Alliance show up here in Duskwood, it is absolutely GG no re for my Scarab Lord, because they will be able to just endlessly sacrifice themselves to the boss to ensure we can never kill him.
Yep.
Now more than ever, I need to be stealthy. Now more than ever, I need to be unpredictable. Now more than ever, I need to be a rogue. Ow.
It's like half the quest that Barney's doing is like avoiding Alliance players. Like that's literally half of what makes this so difficult, man. Like trying to like maneuver around
being
them.
a rogue. Because you already know I figured out exactly what we're gonna do.
World buff alert.
Is putting a fake world buff notice in the world buff Discord immoral? I'll let you
This is
decide.
so
But I
spurty,
did
man.
what needed to be done, because if the Alliance, who are definitely stalking this Discord, see that we are dropping a heart, they will probably assume that we are about to go raiding. And because I still do actually need to kill Onyxia and Ragnaros on this questline,
Makes
it's
sense.
the perfect plan. They think we're meeting up here to get a buff and then fly to Molten Core, but actually we're just gonna walk into Duskwood. I'm a genius.
Yoink.
See?
This is where you find out if Shaman love you or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they only had 10 minutes to buff everyone with the same.
I never get water working, man. Sag. Go get that satyr, man.
We had broken into Duskwood, and the Alliance / Whoing Me would know exactly what we were getting up to. And with Duskwood being so close to Stormwind, we had
gotta be
just shy
fast.
of 10 minutes to kill this
Gotta
boss
have one
and get
attempt.
out, or it's done for. And I know that it might look like I'm just standing still here, but the boss starts spawning the moment I walk into the next subzone. So here I'm waiting
is
for
that
my
even?
raid to get in position, because trust me, I've done this boss 10 times now. So outside of the getting larger mechanic, which I talked about earlier, this boss basically does two things. The first move, which he spams, knocks you away and applies a dot that cannot be dispelled. And the second move is just a mind control, because, yeah, just throw in a mind control. If
Why
you haven't
not, you
already
know?
been able to tell yet, the main way we deal with this boss is to pull him back to this pillar, which lets the caster's
Get a
line of
list.
sight, and the tanks don't have to worry about getting knocked away. That's a problem for the melee. And yeah, I'd like to say we struggled with this boss, but again, this is the 11th time I've killed this thing. Anything short of a perfect pull would just be embarrassing. Like, could you imagine? This is how people talk about Classic WoW, like you don't just stand and hit.
Easy.
Only 4 minutes had passed since
There
we
it
first
is.
entered Duskwood, but that was all the time we needed to get the fragment and get out. The Alliance raid had been thwarted once more, but I made no efforts to disguise our next move. In fact, of all the places we could have gone next, I picked the most obvious because I'm disrespectful like that. Welcome to Moonglade. Buy my merch. With all 4 nightmare
Oh,
fragments
you gotta
gathered,
kill Omen, right?
quest complete. It
Is
was
that
time
Omen?
to summon Aranicus from the Emerald Dream and purge him of his corruption once and for all. As we walk up to town alongside Remulus, I'm going to take this time to go over the Aranicus encounter using footage I got during other people's questlines, because, you know, I've done this 10 times already. So this fight has 2 phases.
Oh,
In
it's not
phase
Omen.
1,
Yeah,
Shade
okay, it's this one.
Shades continually spawn and run at literally whoever, doing tons of damage and AoE shadow bolts.
You
Oh, and they can
lied.
also AoE fear. Our strat is to hide inside this building out of line of sight, so they're more likely to target the town guards, so you can DPS them down in more manageable numbers. Oh, and yeah, you occasionally get like a big dude. So that's phase 1. If you haven't wiped to Shades after a random amount of time each pull, phase 2 begins. All the Shades disappear and Aranicus descends from the sky. And here it is my pleasure to get to show you this World of Warcraft classic exclusive dragon fight.
Wow.
Where you stand and hit. Oh,
Wow.
come up with this. Around 20% health, a
Great
roleplay will
mechanics.
begin. And during
That's
this,
good.
you can actually kill Aranicus if you really want to. But you're meant to wait so that he turns green and the quest completes. So, you know,
Yeah.
like if you were an enemy raid looking to grief, you would maybe want to kill the dragon. Yeah? So that's the encounter we're about to start. After a short roleplay where the
Oh,
bad
shit kicks
guy,
him.
you know, says the line, I'm gonna get you all. And then we're like, no, Aranicus, we're gonna purge you of your corruption, bitch. Combat begins.
Shades up. We're here, Barney. And don't DPS too much, Barney. Keep over here.
Yeah. Now, because we were pretty sure if I die, the quest fails, it was in my best interest that, for as long as possible, I should sit in the corner and do nothing. Said the Alliance spire from behind us. By the way, this is a
Oh,
neutral
shit.
zone, so if any PvP breaks out, the town guards will swiftly put the culprits to death. All I could do was sit back and hope that the RNG in phase 1 was good. And everything was going
Dino
pretty good.
stealth.
Until it didn't.
Never mind.
This was a certified not good moment. I would now have to walk back down to Remulus, restart the escort, and try again. And we really didn't have this time to spare. As I started the RP for a second time, the Alliance dogs began to summon their raid of griefers right in front of me, taunting me. And they thought they were so smart too.
Oh look, you can't attack us.
Well, guess what? If you're showing up to grief an encounter where part of the encounter is that shades will run to the closest person within line of sight, you probably don't want to summon your fucking team of morons where the shades spawn. You were so close to catching me too. Off screen, the Alliance summoners die molding as they are ravaged by shades. This buys us time to get into a favorable position from which we are able to secure a smooth phase 1. So really, I should be thanking the Alliance.
They actually helped them.
Like really, I cannot understate just how useful it was to have like 6 or 7 bozos just die outside. After a few minutes of killing shades, Aranicus descends and we get to experience some hidden content gameplay. Wow. I have never seen anything like this before. And then we redeemed Aranicus. Every dragon fight is the same. On that note, we need to move to Onyxia. As my team started heading towards Onyxia's lair, I walked back to Remulus to hand in the quest. Quest complete.
Wow, green shard acquired.
Thunderbluff portal for the mix-up that even I didn't see coming. Blah, blah, blah. I'm at Onyxia's lair. Remind yourself, though, raids reset in literally a few hours. Finding people not yet locked to Onyxia was proving to be difficult, and it seemed getting a full 40-man raid together for this particular fight was going to be out of the question. 23 was the number of valiant heroes that would journey with me into the dragon's lair. A departure from the recommended 40 to be certain, but this fight is a marathon, not a sprint. If we all play like the smart genius gamers I know we are, this should be a piece of cake.
Surely, right?
Hey, listen the fuck up. You're gonna DPS very, very slowly. Now, and by slowly, I mean fucking slow. If you get aggro, it means you're gonna lose 50 DKP because you didn't know what the fuck to do. And watch the fucking tail.
Good one. I like that. That was a good one. Good meme.
You know what I like about Classic? It doesn't matter how long you've played the game, what gear you have, or what bosses you have on farm. All it takes is for one greedy button press into a taunt resist, and now the mage has aggro. Good luck fixing it. And watch the fucking tail.
Oh my god.
We have whelps, turn around.
Many whelps! Left side! Handle it!
God, I've always wanted to say that. So we handle the whelps and then slowly take Onyxia through phase 1 where you... Once she dips below 60% health, she transitions into phase 2, where she flies up into the air and starts launching fireballs at people. During this phase, only the ranged can hit her, and given that we only have 7 ranged and she stays up there till 40%, this is going to be a very long air phase. Also, I feel like I'm missing something. I think... Wait, if she stays up in the air, doesn't she start, like, covering the ground? I knew I was forgetting something. And it wasn't just me. Some of us were so used to this boss being dead already that we completely forgot she actually has mechanics and a moveset. World of Warcraft is one of those funny games where the better you become at the game, the worse you actually become at the game. And if that doesn't make sense to you, it's because you're bad. That's a good thing.
Hey, kitten.
Promise, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is truly bliss. Do you think my WoW logs make me happy? Do you think raiding makes me happy? Listen up. There is no joy to be had from mastering World of Warcraft, okay? There is only pain. Nevertheless, we pushed through the longest phase 2 of my entire life. 6 people had perished, leaving only 17 of us to finish phase 3. And actually, Withers has aggro, so let's make that 7 deaths. Phase 3 has a fear, by the way. And watch the fucking tail. But as I said earlier, this fight is a marathon, not a sprint. And even with no
get it down eventually.
Even with 10 people dead, and even when I rip aggro at the last second intentionally and try to turn the boss to tail swipe the raid, hey, what's the fucking tail guy? This fight was fucking game.
There it is.
Oh my fucking god. This guy doesn't
Draconic for dummies.
Take that, Draconic.
Nutty.
Chapter 6 acquired.
2 bags? It's as they say, scuffed equals stuff, which is why I find it no surprise K-Bay rolled a 100. After all, is there anything more scuffed than...
On me for it.
Something weird to my benediction.
I dished out the loot, and then it was off to Tanaris to cash in on some dopamine points. I gave the goblin my meat, quest complete, and then he says he needs some salt and rocket fuel, which I already have, quest complete. He then gives us a fat chicken, which we hand in to the engineer immediately, quest complete, and we also hand in the goggles from Molten Core.
Quest complete.
Speaking of Molten Core, Ragnaros has a Draconic for Dummies chapter I need, and it is nearly 7 server time. The Winter Court had once again agreed to let me leech their raid because I'm just such a nice person, but really because I have like really good luck. I'm actually insufferable.
Yeah, me too.
Man, look at all this great
big striker.
Striker's Morgue is
I
nice.
understand why Final Boss recruited Barnaby at this
Rip that cat.
point.
Thank you.
Why?
Welcome back,
Because
man.
you bring the loot.
I have a double gut go ripper.
Yeah, see, it's a curse. You don't get shit.
Yeah, I don't get the loot. Now, I'm not going to try and conjure content where there is none to be found, because the truth is this entire Molten Core was just an incredibly standard ordeal. Outside of the loot being really good, there really is nothing to talk about, because, you know, it's Molten Core. Yeah, give me Master Loot now.
We're in combat, so I can
Ninja Perdition.
No, it's
Oh, yeah. Actually, none of our rogues need it. You're welcome.
I'm gonna take Perditions and leave the Draconic for dummies. That's actually all I came for.
And fuck your quest and just say fuck it.
It was all a ruse to get rid of Gutgore Ripper. From the very start. Funny joke, right? Perditions actually drops though.
Oh.
Someone's up there, taunting me. You think this is so fucking funny, don't you?
Chapter 8 acquired.
Woo! Locked
Last
away
one.
deep within the Stormwind library sits Chapter 5 of Draconic for Dummies, the final chapter I need to finish my tome.
Oh,
But at peak
shoot.
server hours with an Alliance raid following your every move, one does not simply stealth into Stormwind. And also, if I'm being honest, I've never even been there before, like, I wouldn't even know where to go. But I do know someone
Okay.
that does. Meet Eddie. And where do I even begin with Eddie, huh? So the thing with Eddie is, he doesn't really understand that he's not human anymore. Arthur's kind of let this guy marinate in the ground a little too long before raising him, and so with only, like, half a brain, he doesn't really get it. He doesn't really get the whole undead thing. But that's okay, because he's harmless and adorable. Look at this little guy. Long ago, the Horde and the Alliance of Grobulus came to an agreement that Eddie would be free to live and fish in Stormwind unbothered, since can we please just let something pure exist for once? So who better to escort me through Stormwind than the one undead no Alliance wants to kill? The one undead
Eddie.
who has true diplomatic immunity. Okay, roleplay server, don't fail me now.
3 hours remain.
Library, I announced in human as I walked across the bridge into Stormwind City.
Where is the library?
Oh my god, he's fluent in human too. It was here that Eddie shows me a neat Stormwind trick. If you wave to the guards, they are legally obligated to stop pursuing you and wave back. By spamming a wave macro, you can
What?
effectively stun lock guards until you leave their aggro radius. This
What?
doesn't work on patrollers though, so keep that in mind. As we approached the city entrance, we had gathered quite the
Seriously?
crowd, but stealth was never an option, so we just have to hope for the best here.
Where is the library?
Eddie asked again as he was approached by a swarm of guards that not even the greatest Osu legend would be able to wave macro into submission. I barely had enough time to utter library before we were both forced to take a quick nap. So rude.
I know, right?
I'm just trying to acquire knowledge.
Two perfectly normal humans having a stroll through Stormwind.
Take 2.
Dude, the Stormwind Elven Forest run back as a horde is like a little bit over 8 minutes. I know that because I used to farm honor in Stormwind when I was ranking in early Classic WoW days. And that run back hurts a lot.
We come bearing no ill will.
Asserted Eddie as we woke back up in Stormwind. Oh my god, real Janie? Library?
We only seek your knowledge.
Library?
Where is the library?
Library? I was then assassinated by an off-screen menace for being annoying, I suspect.
Barney, no!
At least they left Eddie alive. And he's the
Why?
main character in all this. It's his...
Okay, I get it. Barney, why the fuck are you RPing, getting an army of Alliance up your ass, like, when you literally are on a timer to do the Scarab Lord quest chain? Just stealth into the library and get the goddamn thing.
Stormwind, we're just stealthing through it.
What do you
Speaking of, I
mean?
somehow managed to stealth through the trade district and reconvene with Eddie in
These
the
content
canals.
creators, man.
Hello.
Library?
Could you ladies
Fail
guide
RP
us
isn't
to
allowed.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
library?
Library?
Library.
Oh my god, they understand.
Yes.
Eddie proclaimed.
Where is it?
Mordrina beckons us over and starts leading us somewhere.
Are these night elves bothering you fine humans?
I said no as Eddie responded.
They seem
God.
nice.
Wish I could say the same for the racist guards. I said to Eddie as we waited in the canals for the heat to die down. You know I've drowned people in here.
That never happened.
It did. I just can't be bothered to find the footage right now.
Library, here we come.
Going into this, I didn't know what to expect, but if you told me that I would have a considerable Alliance entourage escorting me to the library, I would have said, yeah, right, at what point do they slit my throat? But here we are, just taking a nice leisurely stroll through the canals. A few minutes
Yeah,
later,
okay.
we arrived at the library, where I was met with multiple guards and some fucking dweeb named Brungus. Fucking Brungus.
I'm just thinking, imagine trying to do this on Dreadnought or something like that. That is not possible, dude. There's something special about RP PvP servers. It's truly something special. you know?
And Brongus cut me down just before I managed to collect the chapter 2. The bastard. But he wasn't gonna get me a second time. I revived, popped a limited invulnerability potion, and enjoyed my 5 seconds of invulnerability as I collected the final chapter of Draconic for Dummies. And you cannot kill me in a way that matters now, Brongus, you fucking brongle bitch.
All chapters acquired.
Wow! And so ended the first of many adventures with Eddie. The latter I'm sure you will never see because I'm already over my 1 video per year quota. Do you feel that though?
True.
That chill in the air? Something's not right. As I flew to Tanaris, I couldn't help but sense an unsettling aura on the wind. I had just literally walked into Stormwind and obtained the final chapter with barely any resistance. Where was the raid of griefers? They didn't even show up. Maybe they'll jump me at the engineer, I thought, as I pulled up to finally hand in a completed Draconic for Dummies. Quest complete. But there was nary an alliance to be seen. This is the part of the questline where the engineer informs us that he is 99% certain he can create the Arcanite Baba Booey. If he gets a few more items. But don't worry, these are all items I prepared earlier. In fact, this exact quest is why for months, even before bug farming, I was deep in the hives of Silithus farming rich thorium veins. And I didn't care who I had to step on to get to them. If something was going to stop me from getting Scarab Lord, it sure as fuck wasn't going to be RNG gems from mining nodes. Quest complete. And finally, I obtained my Arcanite
Baba Booey.
With one last boss to go, and the Alliance Griefers nowhere to be seen, I took my summon to Azshara with a great big smile. That mount is so close I can taste it.
And Azshara, that's where like the big shark is. Very cool.
And then I looked to my left. Oh no!
Oh, no.
No!
Fuck him up.
Oh shit. There we go, dude. It's a water fight. It's a water PvP. This is the most depressing PvP to do as a rogue.
Combat. The best way to finish.
Like, it's so bad PvPing in water as a rogue. God damn.
Stupid idiot.
I hate water PvP.
What were they thinking? The Alliance, as is customary around these parts, had completely failed to put a dent in our magnificent Horde war machine. I threw down the Arcanite Baba Booey and summoned the fish who swallowed the blue scepter gem. And this is where, right on time, the healers fall asleep. He's gonna eat me! Oh my god!
Evasion. Weapons are literally broke.
Get him.
Okay. Yeah, we are.
10k,
Oh,
10k.
God.
Fuck him up, fuck him up, fuck him up. Fuck him up, 5k.
Wouldn't it be kind of cool if this shark like was actually swimming around Azeroth, like at the deep waters? When you know when you go into fatigue waters, if that shark was like, if the fatigue water went down, instead of you like slowly taking damage, that shark would aggro and it would like go towards you. That would actually be sick, man. Oh my god.
Oh, fuck him up, hey, fuck him up. Oh, fuck it up, hey!
Holy shit.
Okay.
Easy.
Get a combat res on Barney. Combat res on Barney B.
Yeah, can we get a combat res on Barney B, guys?
Yeah, can we get a combat res on Barney B?
Acquired.
Barney, go to Anachronos now before he gets fucking briefed.
Where do you think I'm going? Yeah, thanks for that.
This
pearl
is
of wisdom. Where else was I gonna go? Because now that I had collected all 3 scepter shards, it was time to pay Anachronos one final visit. I handed in the green shard. Quest complete. I handed in the blue shard. Quest complete. I am the
3 more
mighty
quests.
Kalimdor. Quest complete. With a scepter of the shifting sands.
Yo! No way! Barney actually got it!
Oh.
No way!
So you're probably wondering, but wait, doesn't that mean you get the mount? We're getting to that. We're getting to that. Just hold on, okay? Because the story's not over. The perceptive among you will have noticed that there are still a few quests to go. These take place in Silithus and unlock at midnight after a brief server restart. This is the countdown that I've been referencing the whole video. And so, with 30 minutes to spare, I made it to the Scarab Gong, sipped my petrification potion to prevent getting griefed when I logged back in, and logged off.
Okay.
5 hours later.
Hello? Ring it.
Nobody's ringing.
No one.
Ring
There
it.
is no capacity. Nobody can ring it.
not
The
available.
entire
Yeah.
area is like.
Just ring it. So yeah, the servers were so laggy in Silithus Sorry, I'm watching.
I remember this, yeah, they were so bad.
What else was gonna happen? Oh, I have to laugh. If I don't laugh, I'll cry. At the mercy of the Blizzard servers, we stood before the gong for hours on end, with the monotony only broken up by the occasional reveal that, hey, you've actually been dead this whole time. And then, as I waited beyond death's wispy veil for a res that I definitely clicked like 5 minutes ago,
Gong was ran.
Fuzi of Final Boss had rung the gong.
If you didn't expect this to happen, I don't know what world you're living in.
Finally, we get the fuck out of this place.
But if you think that means things are going to start getting any less laggier, you are wrong. We are literally just getting started, actually, because now the war event begins. But let's just do this bit first, because I don't want to end on an anticlimax, and we need to get to this part at some point. So, and this is the part of the video that, like, I just have really not wanted to do, and I really don't even want to.
No way.
If I sound salty, it is what it is. So this is the part where, as you can tell, my Scarab Lord story comes to an end.
No way.
In all this lag, I wasn't.
Var det bara de du hade i gruppen och så? Nej. Det blir säkert. Sen är det alltid lite stelt i början, alltså det är ju så. Det blir bättre. Godnatt. Har du gått och lägger dig? Godnatt.
Lying when I said I didn't just spend the last 18 or so months with the mount hidden in my bank. And it's so lame to blame someone else, like when you fuck up, right? But like it's because of Blizzard's fucking stupid ass, laggy ass. Oh, come on, you thought that was how it was gonna end? Do you guys not know me at all? What did I say? You're already in my web. Just don't know it yet. I can do anything I put my mind to, because my mind would not put me to do things I can't. And because of this, I'm a Scarab Lord quest complete. And I kept it secret this whole time. You wanna know how I did it? You wanna know how I streamed every day without you guys ever seeing the fucking mount? It really wasn't in my bank. Because I deleted it. And then I've just been like restoring it every 6 weeks using item restoration. But yeah, get owned. Oh, I can say it now. Yes, I did get Scarab Lord.
Really?
Yes, I do have the mount. I'm swag as hell. And I kept it secret from all of you this whole time. But now, if I may, I'd like to say a few words. You see, I did this entire questline 11 times. So I'm kind of like a Scarab Lord 11 times over when you really think about it. 11 full Scarab Lord questlines. I was there for all of them. If we weren't doing a quest, I was in Silithus farming.
Oh my god.
DKP. And that's not even mentioning the wipes and the failed attempts that we had on some of these quests. So let's just get one thing straight.
Dude.
I'm not just a Scarab Lord. I'm the Scarab Lord. No one suffered more than me on this quest line. Oh, you think you did? I've spent every day for the past 18 months looking at footage of Silithus. Looking at footage of this quest line. Did you? No. So it is only appropriate that I use my unique position as both a record-holding player and deranged content creator to make the following ask. Blizzard, you gotta make the fucking mount fly, man. Please, Blizzard, please, please,
Give
please,
it like
please.
wings.
The only people who would be against this are people who are butthurt that they didn't get the mount. And like, fuck those people, because I have the mount. I wanted to fly. Wrath of the Lich King is my favorite expansion, and we know you're gonna do Wrath of the Lich King Classic, so please let me fly on my Scarab Lord mount in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. I would be so happy. In conclusion, please. Okay, enough begging. It's time to move on to the next part of the quest. Well, you thought that we were done just because I got the mount? Yeah, me too. But no, it turns out there is one more quest left. However, it's not available for completion until after the 10-hour war. What's the 10-hour war, you ask? Well, whilst I do believe that it is far too late in the video now to start doing more exposition, now that the gates of Anchorage are open, the horrors locked away 1,000 years ago have once again been set loose on Silithus and the world of Warcraft. All around the map, resonating crystals will emerge from the terrain, bringing Karaji invasions with them. If you push back enough ads, eventually a unique mob will spawn who, when killed, can drop incredibly rare bind-on equip gear, like Tibu's Blazing Longsword or Alcor's Sunraiser. But not just this. 3 Colossi will also spawn in Silithus, 1 per hive. And they are fucking huge, by the way. The biggest creatures in the game by far. And fighting these titans is no joke either, because every so often they do this.
This was really fun. I like when the gates opened. I was running around with Savix just PvPing people here.
What the fuck? God, this event is so cool.
This is badass. Like, it is badass. The event for like that phase is amazing, but AQ40 sucks as a raid.
It's back.
Oh, John, there it goes, there it goes. Wait.
That's a massive knockback. What?
There it goes. See, look, there goes everyone. There goes everyone.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
You record that?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Nice.
What's going on? Why is everyone getting yoked?
And then, 10 hours later, it was time to finish the questline. I took a summon from inside Anchorage, or rather inside a wall inside Anchorage, don't worry about it, and slowly stealthed my way through the first Alliance blockade. Risking full world buffs moments before I was due to raid AQ40, I perfectly, literally frame perfectly to the point where my GTFO add-on detected I got hit, slipped out through the gates of Anchorage. One last time, I climbed that all-too-familiar staircase of dreams to receive my final reward. A dagger upgrade. Beekeeper's Log, 22nd of August. So now that the event is all finished, there's a bunch of new quests in Silithus that let you grind reputation with the Cenarian Circle, and I don't really know what we're doing. All I know is I need to get exalted because there's some item I need.
More
so we're gonna meet
bugs.
up with them.
Talk to this guy. You're like, hey, Paper, give.
This quest is literally just Scarab Lord farming in like a lethal version, where you farm bucks all day long to get like a trinket.
Me in.
Oh,
okay.
signed.
Yeah. And then you bring him back where you got it from.
What's combat assignment?
This is so- I hate
logistics, or
this quest.
tactical? What's what?
I'm
So this is for
brain.
Earthstrike. I see. So let's do combat.
Mirror brutal.
You gotta do all
there's
of
like
them.
4 of these things in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Worst
it's 4.
quest.
Each quest is to kill 30 of a certain
Horrible
kind of bug.
quest.
Wait, we gotta kill. Wait, we have to kill more bugs.
Yep.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Dude, good video. Oh my god. I think this series Barney's made is probably the best like WoW series that's been made, man. Like this series and then Uber Dangerous as well with Swag Victus. God. Good video, man. Yeah, Uber Dangerous is good as well. Yeah, Platinum WoW put out this video called The Rise and Fall of the Scarlet Crusade. The Scarlet Crusade's embarrassing rise and fall, actually. A lot of people wanted me to watch this. I haven't really gotten to do it yet, but I feel like we should watch it in WoW. It is some very epic WoW lore. Platinum WoW makes some really, really, really cool videos. So I think we should watch this, okay, guys? Let's look at this. I really like the I like the early lore of WoW. I think maybe it's because of nostalgia. Maybe it is like rose-tinted classes. I'm not gonna lie, it might be, but I like the Scarlet Crusade, like the Lich King, the Scourge. All that stuff is interesting to me, and like I'm the type of person that like looks up random lore stuff about the game too. I'm not. I'm serious. No, I am serious. Like, I like it. I think it's cool and it's fun. Thank you for the sub, though, Olio. Thank you. I like it. I think it's interesting, right? Because it's like... It feels like a world of Warcraft when you read about this lore, and it feels like there's actually like societies within the games and different like cultures and stuff, and I think that makes the game feel a lot more sick. And it's something that makes like MMOs feel really interesting to delve into when there's like some deep lore in this, right? But let's watch it, guys. Let's watch it, okay? Platinum up.
Can you not see it? Brothers and sisters, there is but one way to wipe the scourge from the face of Azeroth. The Scarlet Crusade offers you the protection that you so desperately desire. And if you pledge yourselves to us, surely we will reach our ultimate goal.
Surely.
Defy us, and you will be dispatched in a blaze of golden light, unlike any you have ever witnessed. The Scarlet Crusade is one of the more unique...
Dude. Dude.
Enemies you'll face while exploring Azeroth. On
Yeah.
the outside, they might seem like your normal group of everyday paladins, but in truth, they are a vengeful group of fanatic worshippers of the light who destroy all who don't share their radical views.
Yep.
Their history is one of sympathetic origins, but the corruption and the inevitable downfall of their crusade was all because of the underlying deceit within the heart of their organization.
It's one of those things where, like, they want to do really well and they think in their mind they're doing something amazing and really good, but they're being corrupted, right? So they don't know that what they're doing is bad. I think that's cool. Look at those
First,
pancakes
a
and
quick
Herod.
word from today's sponsor.
Oh!
Keeps. Look, dudes, because most of you are dudes. Did you know that two
On purpose, man. I swear to God.
locks? And remember, it's important to act fast, as the sooner you start using Keeps, the more hair you can save. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/platinum or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order. That is keeps.com/platinum.
Dude, he did that on purpose, man. I swear to God, dude. Oh.
The Third War has just concluded on Azeroth. The Kingdom of Lordaeron has been totally destroyed by the Scourge after the kingdom's prince, Arthas Menethil, betrayed his people and allied with the undead, and killed his own father and his mentor Uther. The group of paladins called the Knights of the Silver Hand was disbanded. These crusaders continue to fight to defend fortified settlements where survivors cling to life. One of these paladins was a mountain of a man named Saidan Dathrohan, who was one of the original founders of the Knights of the Silver Hand. Dathrohan's significance is not because of his accomplishments, but because of his defeat.
He's a chat.
During an incursion into the burning city of Strathhome, Dathrohan was separated from his fellow paladins.
Oh, shoot! Dude, he's badass.
He could cut down the undead with ease, but there was more than shambling zombies in this cursed
Look at
city.
Know that I am Balnazar. Know that you are but a pawn in plans beyond your reckoning.
Oh, he doesn't care.
You cannot fight my will. You are mine. You are out of your league, Paladin.
Saidan Dathrohan had fallen right into the Dreadlord Balnazar's trap. The demonic mastermind's ultimate plan was to possess his body and infiltrate the Order of Paladins and pull the strings behind the scenes and destroy them from within.
I've been waiting for you, Paladin. Know that I will rip the soul from your flesh and make your body my own.
What does that even... Oh! Is that the last... Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Wait, so that's why. It's that guy. That's the last guy in Strat
As
Live.
Balnazar infiltrated their defenses, a paragon of light traveled from the west. High Lord Alexandros Mograine was one of the original founders of the Knights of the Silver Hand. Armed with a holy artifact called the Ashbringer, the paladin could cleave entire armies of undead in twain, and leave only ash in his wake.
It's like me in raids, guys. That's when I like just pop cooldowns on my warrior in raids, just absolutely blast. It's like I'm wielding the Ashbringer, right? It's how it is. Trust me, boys. When we get back on raiding on the warrior in TBC, once we get the Warglaze and everything like that, boys, we're gonna pop off. It's gonna be crazy damage. Trust me.
I cannot stress enough how much of a badass Mograine was. He was like the Master Chief of Paladins, who was a beacon of light for the downtrodden people of Lordaeron.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. Alright, close your ears if you don't want to hear it, but I'm going to say it right now. I'm saying it, okay? I think it will be sick to have like some sort of, it doesn't even have to be live action, like some sort of like a series or something on some of the heavy WoW lore, like if it's the Scarlet Crusade or like the Lich King, or Arthas, like, it could be, if it's done well, it could do so good. Like, it doesn't even have to be live action. It could also just be like Arcane. You know Arcane in League of Legends, how they did it? It could be like that too. It could be like an animated series. It will be, there's so much good and awesome lore they have, and it's literally there. Imagine if they made like a whole series like Arcane did, but they did it in a Blizzard cinematic style. Not live action, just Blizzard cinematic style. Oh my god, dude. I would be all over that. And I think a lot of people would be over that too, man. I really think so. Dick on the waist. No, that's not a dick, Deluxe Zappy. That's like a it's probably a dick. Okay, I don't know, man. But anyway, I think that'd be sick. I like, because we all know, like, you can say what you want, guys, but Blizzard cinematics are amazing. And imagine a whole series made like that. If it's okay, okay, this is like obviously the best one, right? The story of Arthas, right? Like Arthas' story, his upbringing as a kid, like his corruption into like, you know, madness, and like with the calling of Stratholme, that'd be sick. But like you can also do it on Scarlet Crusade, or you can do it on Suljin, like the trolls. Like there's so many like storylines that would be amazing to follow. There's infinite potential, right? There really is. I would like that. I just wanted to get that out there real fast. Let's keep watching though. Sorry. Is the Darkspear trolls? Yeah, like anything. It would be so cool, right?
He became such a legend that he was simply referred to as the Ashbringer.
Oh, shoot.
The Ashbringer also had two sons. One was named Darian.
What is that chest? I'm so... Okay, you know what?
Who
I'm
has
not
the
gonna...
most anime haircut in all of Warcraft, but more on him later. The other son was named Renault, who was taught the ways of the Paladin under Satan Dathrohan.
Like Satan. Oh.
Over
no.
time, Satan Dathrohan, aka Balnazar, manipulated Renault. He preyed on his insecurities, knowing that he would always live in the shadow of his father. Renault is, and always will be, a lowly foot soldier.
Man.
A simple follower, and not a leader like his father.
Satch.
But Satan offered him a proposition.
Oh.
If Renault was to kill his own father, he would be promoted to be a commanding officer in his order of paladins, and be granted the glory he justly deserved. Hey, I think you should kill your dad. Okay.
Okay. Alright,
wow,
easy.
that was surprising.
Oh, wait, things to manipulate. Sargeras, Voidlord's Mancrick's wife, Nasav, the Titan's Delight, Blizzard Riders. Oh. Just wait till he gets to this one, boys. Yeah.
Easy.
Renault then lied to his father, telling him that his brother Darian was trapped within Stratholme and needed to be rescued. Alexander's Mograine and
yeah,
his
he never
advisor
got there, boys. You know, we killed him in the classic.
Fairbanks traveled to the burning city, only to be overwhelmed by Scourge forces.
I really like the editing of the classic. It's really nice.
Come on. Come on. Okay. More damage. Go. I need heals. No, by the way, he DC'd. Okay. We gotta just hurry up. We gotta time this. Quick. This is just like Finding Nemo, except with all more zombies.
Oh, that is so good.
The High Lord fell to the ground, exhausted after obliterating every vile creature that stood in his wake. But it was at this moment that the High Lord's son delivered the ultimate betrayal.
Oh, shoot.
This act of pure evil and resentment corrupted the Ashbringer, turning it into a weapon of hatred instead of retribution. Renault fled, returning to the town of Hearthglen to tell everyone of the death of the Ashbringer.
Oh, shoot. So he killed his dad.
So there's the Ashbringer, and then there's a bunch of zombies, and the zombies were like, wah! And the Ashbringer went, wah! And then there was an Abomination guy, and he went, wah! And then he went, and then the Ashbringer died.
Wow.
And yeah, that's what happened.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Some of the paladins were quite skeptical, to say the least. Satan had been acting quite suspicious recently, and this tall tale didn't really seem to add up. You! It was you, Renault, that killed Alexandros. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. The Ashbringer thrust right through your father's back. Whoa, Fairbanks. Did you not see the puppet show? Clearly it was the... I know! What?
Ja, vad tycker du om den krämiga fyllningen? Vad smakar den?
Bra. Nu med lakrits och mint.
But I saw, you traitorous bastard! Fairbanks barging in and spilling this truth was the final straw for half of the Order of Paladins, and they left instantly. They went to go create a new order that wasn't led by such sketchy and fanatic leaders like Satan and Renault. The ones that stayed decided that they'd just quarantine Fairbanks, who is now deemed as unclean and insane. And by quarantine, I mean they executed him and threw him in a secret chamber in the cathedral. From
Oh, that's the guy! You guys know when you do cathedral and you go to the right and you click on that little like lever, like that? That's the guy that's in there then. Oh, that's cool. It's all tying together, guys.
From this point onwards, the priests, paladins, and all other followers of the light separated them.
Wait, come on. Okay, let me just be surprised here.
Themselves into two different organizations. The ones that really didn't trust Satan Datherhand left and called themselves the Argent.
They look like, you guys know in South Park that those like emo kids that hang out like behind the school? It looks like those, man. Those edgy emo kids.
Dawn, led by Lord Maxwell Tyrosus. This organization is accepting of all outsiders, whether they be Horde, Alliance, or even Forsaken, and their main goal is to establish peace and destroy the Scourge. The other group is called the Scarlet Crusade, led by Satan Datherhand. This organization is extremely against any outsiders, especially if they aren't humans.
For the crusade!
Rather than establish peace, their main goal is to reclaim the ruined lands of Lordaeron once again and deliver retribution to the monsters that surround them. Satan made sure that he struck fear and paranoia into his followers, warning them that any outsiders could be unclean and could be secretly carrying the plague of undeath. Showing mercy to them would only pull them further away from their goal of eradicating all evil from Lordaeron. Heathen! Now, clearly the Scarlet...
I mean, that's a little bit too far, isn't it? I mean, I'm not gonna like sit here and like, you know, but I feel like that's maybe a little bit too far to do that to a little gnome.
Crusade are not really good people, but let's look at this from their perspective. You are a citizen of Lordaeron who had your entire family killed by zombies and your life destroyed. A plague wiped through your whole kingdom that came from infected grain of all things. So I mean, how could you not be nervous about other ways the plague could be transferred? I mean, the enemy you're fighting also has
flying death fortresses.
Yeah.
So who knows what unholy tricks they might have up their sleeve. Also keep in mind that some citizens were saved and converted into the Scarlet Crusade. And if we simply just look at the map in Classic, the Scarlet Crusade are the only ones getting shit done around here. They have 3 different fortified bases all around Lordaeron, while this Argent Dawn has a shitty camp.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. I'm not gonna like, you know, not gonna like argue with that.
And even shittier,
They don't even, like, the thing is, bro, you can't even repair this camp. Like, they literally don't even have a blacksmith to repair at. Like, they have that guy right there, but you can't even repair here. You have to go all the way over to Western Plaguelands to repair, you know? You can? No, you cannot. Not before the last patch of Classic WoW. The last or the second to last patch, you can't repair on this place. You have to wait till the patch because they haven't installed, like, the repairman yet.
Rundown church. This isn't about being morally good for some members of the Scarlet Crusade. This is about survival. Also, their beloved capital city that was a deeply religious and known place of worship of the light was taken over by zombies that look exactly like the ones that destroyed it in the first place. As a living human, how can you be okay with that? But also, from the Forsaken's perspective, who live in the capital city, they too are citizens of Lordaeron, who have retained all their memories from when they were alive, and are now treated as monsters, and this is the only place they really can live. This is what makes the Scarlet Crusade such an interesting villain in WoW. They are a group of people who, from their perspective...
They're good people. In their eyes, they do what they think is best. I think that's a lot of the times that's what makes a lot of lore and storylines very interesting. Whenever it's not just like a good side and a bad side, right? When like both sides have their like righteous paths that they're trying to follow in their own rights, it makes it a lot cooler and a lot more interesting to follow something, right? It's the same thing that they did with Game of Thrones, right? Because Game of Thrones is like, oh, first you see the Lannisters, and they're like, oh, the Lannisters are super evil people that, like, you know, they're bad people. You don't want to do anything with those. And, like, you know, the Starks are awesome. But you slowly learn that everybody in the Game of Thrones world have their own reasons to why they do certain things, right? And nobody's perfect. And that's why in a lot of ways that, like, if you can manage to do this with the lore in your video game or anything, it's very interesting, right? Because there's no good and bad. There's like just two sides, really, right? So yeah, guys, Game of Thrones. Listen, Game of Thrones may have turned out to become something a little bit interesting and weird, but at the end, like in the beginning, it was good. It was good lore, right? Like it was.
Have pretty reasonable motivations to avenge their kingdom, but have been pushed and manipulated into paranoia and desperation that made them lose grasp of reality and turned into the villains on Azeroth.
King Joffrey had no... Okay, stop. We're not gonna go into the nitty-gritty details. Like, listen, King Joffrey had no... Shut up, listen. It was just like, the general idea with Game of Thrones, at least in the very beginning, the first 4 or 5 seasons... There's no strictly good or bad sides. They just all have the reasons as to why they're doing certain things, right? And that's what makes it so compelling and interesting, right? Because there's no like, well, this is bad, this is good. It's like, okay, well, this is bad if you look at it from this side, and this is good if you look at it from that side. You know, there's multiple layers to it. Obviously, people do messed up things in the show. Yes, they do, but they have their own reasons to do that, right? To protect their families or to do other things as well, right? So yeah, I'm not gonna go too into detail of that, but I just wanted to say that real fast. Okay. I know the Microsoft thing happened. We read all the things before this video.
Now that we know the insidious origins of the Crusade, let's go
Joffrey was straight evil once he took power? No, he was not. He was a fucking asshole from the beginning. It's not like he suddenly became evil just because he became to power. It was a lot more easily portrayed because he was in power now and he could like fulfill his like evil fantasies of whatever the hell he was doing, right? But it's not like he suddenly became evil. He was just always like that, right? I'm done talking about Game of Thrones. We're done.
Expansion in WoW and learn how the Scarlet Crusade was ultimately defeated. First, let's start with Classic and get to know the leaders of the Scarlet Monastery and their nefarious deeds.
Tell me everything.
Within the dark depths of the temple,
this guy's messed up.
Interrogator Vicious is known for unleashing his unrelenting sadism and cruel expertise against the enemies of the Crusade. During Classic, there's a quest that involves him stealing a wedding ring from one of his torture subjects and giving it to his own wife, which is just, oh, so incredibly evil. Interrogator Vicious also makes an appearance within the Brawlers Guild, and the announcer will yell, "Well, wrap me in leather and tug my leash, it's Dungeon Master Vicious." So,
What? Wait, who says that?
You can do with that information what you will.
He's literally a leather man. He's got some deep dark fantasies.
Houndmaster Loxy trains his savage hounds of the Crusade to sniff out the unclean and hunt them down within the forests of Tirisfal Glades.
I really want to mention Game of Thrones. I'm not gonna do it though. I'm gonna stop myself from doing it. But I just let it be known that I wanted to mention something in reference to Game of Thrones, but I'm not gonna do it.
You will not defile these mysteries.
Within the library, Headmaster Mage Arcanus Doan combs over his tomes and teaches the fellow mages of the Crusade on how to master the use of the arcane to destroy the undead.
That's actually, he might be a librarian, guys, but he's the most difficult boss in all of SM, okay? And that's a fact.
Ah, I've been waiting for a real challenge.
Within the Hall of Champions, Herod is...
He's badass.
I'll be honest. Herod is literally just a shirtless guy with an axe who says,
"Blades of light!"
But what's more interesting is the room he's in, which is called the Hall of Champions. Here we can see a bunch of different statues of slain or missing members of the Crusade.
Oh.
What's confusing...
I actually never noticed those statues, really.
...though, is there are statues of elves and dwarves, which kind of goes against the whole ethos of the Crusade in the first place. What's even funnier about this place is the names of the people and how uncreative they are. We got Valia Twin Blades.
Oh.
She's got 2 blades. We got Invar one arm. He's got 1 arm. We got Yana Blood Spear. She's got a
spear of blood.
Spear. We got... Oh, wait, hold on. Well, no, wrong universe. But one of the more interesting ones is Halia Sunshield, who's got a shield. But what's interesting about her is the plaque for the statue says that she died slaying a dreadlord named Belthras. And what's interesting is that this dreadlord named Belthras returned 13 years later in-game as a mob Gul'dan summons during the Nighthold raid in Legion, which I thought is pretty neat. Anyways, back to the Scarlet Crusade. The leaders of the monastery are located within the cathedral. Renault was given what he was promised, and was promoted to Scarlet Commander of the monastery, and watches over it with Sally Whitemane.
Together we shall spread the Crusade's ideals across this land!
Yes, you may. You may do that. Yes, ma'am.
Now, I'd love to give you some backstory on who Lady Whitemane is, but she really doesn't have much of a backstory. Her family was all killed by the Scourge, and she swears to avenge them, which is the same story that a lot of the members of the Crusade have. Despite this, she is easily the most iconic character from the organization because...
I wonder why.
Because of her... qualities? Of course, in-game, we go in and we kill all of these bosses. But that isn't what actually happens lore-wise. What actually happens is depicted in the Ashbringer comics. What happens is Darian Mograine, that anime guy I told you to remember...
He looks like that guy from Final Fantasy. No, is that the guy with the big sword? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Is that Final Fantasy? Cloud? Yeah, Cloud, exactly. He looks like Cloud. Yeah, exactly, Cloud.
Storms in...
That's Final Fantasy, isn't it? It's not Kingdom Hearts, guys. Kingdom Hearts brings in everything. He's from Final Fantasy originally. Kingdom Hearts basically just takes everything in and makes like a big, mix of everything. Final Fantasy VII? Okay.
Anjunax Rammus with the Argent Dawn and kills his father Alexandros Mograine, whose body was resurrected by the Scourge and is now one of the 4 horsemen. Darian then takes the corrupted Ashbringer to the Scarlet Monastery, and the ghost of Alexandros Mograine decapitates his own son.
Oh, shoot! He doesn't even look at him! Dude, that's badass. I mean, it's messed up that he does it, but like, look at, dude, that's a badass villain.
Players can experience this from Darian's perspective when they obtain the Corrupted Ashbringer in Classic and take it to the Scarlet Monastery Cathedral. So, lore-wise, Ronaldo